Hello, I'm Skylarr, and this is r/Choosing Beggars. This is a different subreddit than I've done in my last two videos. I hope you enjoy, and let's get into this. For our first story, I won the lottery, and a choosing beggar cheats himself out of my generosity. Just before we start, just want to let you know that CB is probably meaning choosing beggar. Just in case there's, a different meaning behind it that's not necessarily kid-friendly. Let's just not go into that, though, because I'm trying to stay family-oriented here. But anyway, this just happened 2 hours ago. I filled my gas tank and then went into the gas station convenience store to get a Mountain Dew. I paid with a $5 bill and got $3 and some change back. I asked the clerk to just give me 3 $1 lottery scratchers. I almost never buy scratchers. I think it's the first time I've purchased them in maybe 8 to 10 years. I scratched them off on the first garbage can outside the store. One is a free ticket, one is a $25 winner, and one is a $100 winner. I go back in, they cash me out. They give me a replacement for my free ticket winner, I scratch that off, and it's $2.5 thousand. They congratulate me and tell me I have to deal with the state. They don't pay that out at the gas station because it's too much. I leave with my $125 and my winning $2.5 thousand ticket. I stop at McDonald's and get a Filet-O-Fish meal. There's a truck behind me, and I'm feeling good. When I get to the window to pay, I ask how much the order behind me is. She says the truck guy's order is about $15. I tell her I'll pay for it, and that she should just tell the guy that I'm having a good day, and I hope he enjoys his lunch on me. I pay, and she sends me up. I pull up to the pickup window, and I'm waiting. A few seconds later, the cashier girl from the window shows up and says, "He added 2 Big Macs to his order." I just say, "Oh, okay." She stares at me for a second and says, "Are you gonna take care of it?" I say, "Are you asking or is he asking?" It all finally clicks in her head, and she looks horribly embarrassed. She says, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even think. I told him what you said and how you paid for his meal, and he said to add 2 Big Macs. I told him what he owed, and he told me to talk to you since you offered to pay for his meal." Now, let me also point out that this guy was not in some crappy rusted out truck. This was like a huge, shiny, almost brand new Ford truck. Anyway, I look at her and say, "I don't want to cause you grief, but right now, I kind of want my $15 back because that guy is a butthole." She chuckles and actually says he's a choosing beggar. I say, "Oh my gosh, Reddit, this is going up." She giggles, gives me thumbs up, and says, "Right on," before she tells me to move up to window 3. She comes back with my food and the $15. She refunded me and then said, "I haven't told him he's paying for all of it yet. I wanted to give you time to disappear." I thank her and pull out. I have to wait for traffic at the entrance, and after about a minute, I make the turn and I'm passing by the drive-thru line. The truck horn blares. I look and the guy's flipping me off. I stick my hand out of the sunroof and give him the finger back. I hear tires peeling out and see he's barreling out of the McDonald's. He shoots onto the streets to chase me. I make a light as it's changing. He's a block behind and he blows through the red. Solid red. Cutting off cars. This wasn't a stale yellow. Now I'm a little concerned. I speed up and I'm trying to time the traffic lights ahead of me with whether I turn right or left or go straight. If I go straight, I can hit the expressway and I'll definitely lose him because I've got way more horsepower and agility than he does. But this is going to add an hour of bullcrap to my day to get on, race around, get off, turn around, come home, blah blah blah. If I turn right, I can be at 100 miles per hour in 7 seconds and then hit the forest preserves to lose him before he even has time to get up to speed in that beast machine he has. But there's sometimes a cop in that stretch, so it's a gamble. If I go left, there's construction, but it's so congested that there's always a cop managing traffic 100 feet from the corner to deal with the shopping plaza traffic. What am I gonna do? The light isn't changing. Just as I approach, I see an opening for a left turn. I shoot through. Truck guy lays on the horn and makes the turn too. He cuts off a city bus that blows the horn and slams on the brakes. Sure enough, there's the cop in the construction who saw the whole thing. I slowly pass the cop and he slowly pulls out behind me to block the truck and starts waving him to the side. I turn down my side street and head on home. My only thought was that I owe McDonald's Katie a huge shout out. Gotta get her some exposure because she was awesome and probably bought me just enough time to make the proper escape. After all that, I had one thing left to figure out. If this was best suited for Choosing Beggars or one of the revenge subs. Not sure on revenge. My revenge was taking back the free meal. But the dope caused his own real revenge by almost causing an accident in a construction zone and getting himself pulled over for being a road raging person. Too long didn't read. One on Lottery Scratcher, decided to pay it forward. I pay $15 for a Choosing Beggars meal. Choosing Beggar adds more to the order and expects me to pay for the additions. I get a refund for the initial $15, so he has to buy his own meal. He chases me in a road rage rampage and ends up almost causing an accident in a construction zone with a city bus and gets pulled over. Since it's kinda relevant but not really important, I know Katie. I used to be a high school science teacher. She was one of my students about a decade ago. She's probably in her mid-20s now. She currently is a student at the local university. Good kid. I have a bit of a report for her because I was her high school science teacher, and because I go to McDonald's every couple of days for coffee, and I see her. So Katie isn't a total stranger to me. So I'm not going to automatically assume that the story's made up, because, one of the details you might find odd is McDonald's don't normally have 3 windows, and he explains that he pulls up to a second window twice. But, I've been to a McDonald's that has had 3 windows before, so I can say that they do exist. And I don't know if he lives at the same one that I do, but the one I imagined he did. That's just in my mind. Alright, let's move on to our second story. Here, my friend wants me to pay for the repair of her boyfriend's car. So I have this friend that I don't talk to that often. We were kinda close in high school, but we kinda drifted apart after that. We talk from time to time, but nothing much. There were some other incidents before with her being a choosing beggar, but nothing so serious. Now, let's get to the story. In high school, I was really poor, but after that, I became a programmer, and I'm financially stable. Not rich, but pretty good. This friend, let's call her a choosing beggar from now on, knows that. A couple of months ago, she made a new boyfriend after she dumped a previous one for him. This dude comes from a rich family. They bought him a Range Rover as his first car, which he still drives today. And they were paying for everything he has. Well, he doesn't work. So fast forward for today. I get a message from Choosing Beggar. Choosing Beggar. Hey, how are you? Me. Fine, at work, what about you? Choosing Beggar. Well, I need your help. Boyfriend's car broke down, and the repair is about 1,500 euros. We want to go to a really expensive city in the mountains with a great view and kind of expensive, with our friends, and you aren't included. So we need the car. Me. That must suck. CB. Yeah, I was wondering if you could give him the money to fix it. Me. Why aren't his parents fixing it? Choosing Beggar. He had a fight with his parent. They want to get him a job so they won't pay. Me. Well, that sucks. I could give him the money, but how is he going to pay me back? Choosing Beggar. Excuse me? Me. What? Choosing Beggar. I asked you to give him the money, not to lend him some money. Me. So you want me to just give him 1,500 euros to fix his car so you can go on a trip? Just like that. Choosing Beggar. You have money. You said you want to buy a Lexus. Yeah, that's true. I have some money and I want to buy a Lexus as my first car. But that's not a reason to just throw away 1,500 euros. Me. So what? I've worked for that money. I'm not going to give it away for free. Choosing Beggar. So all these years of friendship meant nothing? Me. Well, looks like they are worth 1,500 euros to you. Choosing Beggar. You are so arrogant and full of yourself. You were just lucky. Some people aren't as lucky as you. Guys, I've been really poor. My parents didn't have enough money to pay for my transport to school every day, so I was missing classes because of that. Me. You are so stupid. I won't waste my time with you. Too long didn't read. Choosing Beggar wants me to pay 1,500 euros for a car repair for her boyfriend, so she can go on a road trip that doesn't include me, and she won't pay it back. For our third and final story for the day, I'll pay $500 cash for your $9,000 car. So, my husband is currently selling his Mustang worth about $8,000, and our asking price is $9,000. Choosing Beggar called him about a week ago, asking if she could send her friend to come check it out. Sure, no problem. They set up an appointment and met us at her house. He didn't test drive it or anything, he just plugged in his code reader and checked the codes. Weird, but okay. Choosing Beggar calls the next day and asks if her and her son could come take a look and ask if we could be home that evening. Us, being the homebodies we were, would be home, so we told Choosing Beggar that she could come by. I have the window in my house open to hear the conversation, and she asks my husband if he would take $500 down payment and let her take the car that night, to which my husband said no. So she tells him that she is going to talk to her bank and get a loan, and they'd set up a time to get it taken care of. This next part's a little bit hard to read, so I'm gonna do my best. Today is the day they had set their meeting with the bank, but she calls my husband while he is at work yesterday, and he told her he would call her after he got off work at 5. He really gets off at work at 4 and is generally home around 4:30. Well, unbeknownst to her, I stayed home yesterday. Around 4 p.m., I get a knock at my door and look out the window to see Choosing Beggar. She looked genuinely surprised to see me open the door. So Choosing Beggar tells me my husband told her he was still at work, and he would call around 5. So she knew he would. Choosing Beggar said she would give me $500 cash to take the car tonight, because she's meeting her friends for Taco Tuesday, and wants to show it off. She said she'd definitely give my husband the money tomorrow. We also have cameras hidden in our drive and in our yard, which I'm guessing she spotted one because she didn't pull in the drive and parked on the street, which is extremely odd, especially since I live in the country and no one does that. Choosing Beggar even had a different car than she'd showed up in the first time. Well, I tell her it's not my deal, it's my husband's car and he handles all of it. She then started crying and begging me to take the $500 because she is late to meet her friends. So I tell Choosing Beggar that my husband would be home in 5 minutes, if she would like to wait. Choosing Beggar immediately stops crying and says, "I'll see him tomorrow at the meeting, no worries," and ran to her car and left. Either she's a Choosing Beggar or a scam artist, but to me they're one and the same. Update. She just called my husband and offered $1,000. We should have had her meet at Walmart or something so she didn't have our address. I'm sorta sad there's not that much of a conclusion here. It's still a nice story, but it would have been better if we got to see some justice served to Choosing Beggar like in the first story. So, I guess that wraps things up for this video, and I think we did a good job. If you have any feedback, please leave a comment. No need to subscribe, but it would be nice. And I'll see you in the next video.